going on, everybody? This your boy Doc Holiday. We're back with another HBCU OverDrive live show. If you haven't done it by now, make sure you like and share this stream. Like and share this stream, comment, and most of all, subscribe to the channel, man. We're trying to get to 1,000. Be part of that hottest HBCU podcast that's on YouTube right now. And without further ado, I got my guy right here, host HBCU Nightly on Twitter. My guy Josh Sims, alum of North Carolina Central. So y'all already see it. It's Jackson State, NCCU.
What's up, my brother?
We good, man. So, man, look, I ain't gonna beat around the bush. I don't know how many people on here because I know everybody got their own shows going on right now. So I know I put this in the stream. I mean, on the chat. Mm-hmm. I think Mr. Ford might come in on it.
Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna just put it just out there right now. We'll just put it out there right now. Sources have been confirmed that T.C. Taylor is expected to be the next head football coach at Jackson State University after taking over Coach Prime, who was the head coach from 2020 to this year. Taking over head coach, they kind of put Jackson State back on the map as far as the winning tradition. And it kind of elevated us to where we, where we at right now. But we talking about a person that's replacing him, who is basically Jackson State through and through, all up and down. If y'all know what I'm talking about, man, y'all need to check y'all sources. But we talking about T.C. Taylor, man. Came in to Jackson, I think. Yeah, he came in the same year I did, 1997. So I know him for a minute. Was a quarterback. He was heralded as like the next great quarterback to come in to play for football for Jackson State. That didn't pan out, and they told him, said switch to wide receiver, and basically he's one of the best wide receivers we had in school history, like up there with Jimmy Smith and Sylvester Morris, Corey Bradford. We talk about those guys right there. Got his coaching chops in over at Coahoma Community College in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Was a wide receiver coach, offensive coordinator there. So he was in charge of a lot of offense for that JUCO right there. I think they made each time he was there. I mean, while he was there, I think they made I think they went to bowl games around that time too while he was there, because his offense is prolific as you see. Then he takes over as a wide receiver coach, and he was the recruiting coordinator for Texas Southern University for, I think it was 2011, 2012, 2013. So we talking about a guy that actually can go out there and recruit. Then guess where he go? What's your favorite saying, Josh?
1801 Fayetteville Street.
Okay. Guess what he was? The wide receiver coach, and then was the offensive coordinator, offensive mastermind for y'all North Carolina Central Eagles from, was that 2014 all the way up
2014 to 2016, 2017.
2017. While he was there, y'all won the MEAC 3 times while he was there. had the addition to the Celebration Bowl under his offensive tutelage, and then he gets that call. He said he's gonna come back home, become the wide receiver coach for Jackson State under Coach Hendricks, to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Hendricks didn't stay long, so Coach Hendricks got fired after his first full season at Jackson, and then with the rest of the story, bring in Prime, wide receiver coach, tried him out as offensive coordinator during the 2021 season. Couldn't get too much continuity, but you there, Mr. Ford? I'm gonna get Mr. Ford.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so let I'm gonna run down the receivers that he done coach at Jackson State. So he coached Warren Newman. He coached Keith Corbin. We got a Shane Hooks, Dallas Daniels, Rico Powers. Let me see. Let me keep going. Malachi Wyman and
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. Cam Buckley. Look, the list goes on and on. I mean, you can run down the list of wide receivers he done coached over at Central.
Absolutely.
So he's under Jerry Mack over at Central, and then Trey Oliver takes over, and he was coach. He was under him also. So, I mean, we talking about a guy that got an immense wealth of knowledge as far as offensive football goes. So, I say it like this: I wasn't. I want to say I wasn't happy, but I was happy that the whole drama of who gonna be our next head coach is over with. Yeah, y'all get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't feel like we could hire another head coach somewhat similar to Prime, but what I'm saying, ain't number one Prime. I didn't see nobody to be on that level right there. But it is expected. I think it's going to be expected. It's going to be hopefully finalized tomorrow that TC Taylor is going to be our 22nd head football coach at Jackson State. So what do you think about it, Josh? And then I get your input, Mr. Ford.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of TC Taylor, man. I grew to become a fan of TC when he was the offensive coordinator here in North Carolina Central, and I just love the way he approached the game as a coach. One of the guys he had under his tutelage at North Carolina Central when he was the offensive coordinator, who was his running backs coach, was my quarterback in college, Jordan Reed, who now works for ESPN. And I asked Reed often about kind of what was TC's approach to the game, what was his approach to game planning, what was his approach to scouting and strategy. And this guy was masterful, man. And so, obviously upon the exit of Coach Mack from North Carolina Central and taking the job as offensive coordinator at Rice, we lost TC Taylor. And at one point, I still remained a big fan of TC Taylor, even though he was leaving 1801 Fayetteville Street. And so the work he's done down at Jackson State is unbelievable. You read off a phenomenal list of receivers that he's had inside of his tutelage. And I thought that even the stretch where he was the offensive coordinator at Jackson State last year, I thought he did a damn good job. I mean, I thought he was very, very masterful in how he called plays. I thought he got them out of a lot of situations. And he kind of orchestrated an offense that at times prior to him taking over looked fairly pedestrian. Didn't have an identity, didn't really know what it wanted to do. And you insert TC Taylor, who obviously has the experience as an offensive coordinator. You insert TC Taylor, and he helps to orchestrate, and helps to continue to orchestrate one of the longest winning streaks in all of FCS football. So the reality is that Jackson State is getting a winner Jackson State's getting a master orchestrator, a great recruiter. He was a part of some of the best recruiting classes and really kind of helped to orchestrate some of the best recruiting classes we had here in North Carolina Central. That 2016 team and a lot of those young guys that were here, a lot of those guys that came here that are now seniors or were seniors when they graduated were brought here by TC Taylor. I think Jackson State has definitely found the right guy. It's going to be interesting in the dynamic inside of their locker room. But I kudos and hats off to AD Ashley Robinson, who earlier today I was on with DJ's Raw Truth, and I said that I think that Ashley Robinson is one of the best athletic directors in all of athletics, not just on the FCS level, not just through the HBCUs. I think that AD Ashley Robinson is one of the best athletic directors and one of the best educational administrators in all of athletics and all of collegiate and athletics. So kudos to him for making what I believe was the right decision. You kind of rest the waters. You savor the waters with a decision like this. You save your recruiting prospect list with a decision like this. You help your recruiting board with a decision like this, while also simultaneously helping to calm the waters inside of that program and get some sort of settle there. This is a guy who's not a big ego guy, so he's not going to be tripping about Prime getting his last game. But I can guarantee you that the moment that this season is over, that TC Taylor and that staff that he's going to compile there are going to be ready to rock and roll, man. So congratulations to Coach Taylor, man. Once an Eagle, always an Eagle, and we hope you go do great things in Jackson.
All right, Mr. Ford, get your perspective.
I was so happy when they announced it. I came in from school today and turned it on, and Blue was announcing it, and he was the one that we wanted. I too met him in Durham, North Carolina, when he and Jerry Mack and what's his name? Eastland? Was it Coach Eastland? What was the defensive coordinator's name at Central at that time? Was it Coach East? Greenville Eastland? What? I know he was.
Eastland, yes.
Yeah. Well, I met them all up in there. Matter of fact, I sent a kid from South Georgia to Jackson State back in the 90s, and he was a teammate of.
Breaking up a little bit, Coach. You going in?
Okay,
now,
can you hear me now?
A little bit. Doctor,
can you hear me
the
now?
same kind of breakup?
Yeah,
I think it's on your end.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay. Well, anyway, I had a young man from South Georgia that I sent down to Jackson State at the time to play for Coach Carson. We called him Big Daddy. And he was there with Jerry Mack and with TC. TC originally came to Jackson as a quarterback, but he converted to a wide receiver and went to the NFL as a wide receiver. But I'm just ecstatic. I'm so happy. The main thing is this. He cannot make the mistake that Eric Dooley has made down at Southern University. And that is, instead of going and getting quality championship coaches, you go get your homeboys. I just hope he doesn't do that. I hope that everybody on that staff, their resumes jump off the list with championship quality. Now, I was telling somebody today, if Jeff Weeks is going to stay, I would like to see Jeff Weeks as a defensive coordinator. I don't want to see him as a play calling head coach. I want him to delegate that to somebody, but I want it to be somebody who has been trained by some of the best people. Okay. The reason I was so happy was, like you said, it brought a lot of mystery to an end for those young men. Now, here's the thing. Somebody was telling me today at school, they called out 10 names of kids that are going to go with Coach Prime to Colorado. And when they called out the 10 names, I said, you know what? If that's only guys going, it's still a lot of talent left on that team. And so I'm just saying to y'all now, if he can bring in some quality championship coaches, the domination of the SWAC can continue. But now if he gonna go get them homeboys, we're gonna have a problem. Because let me tell you something. You got to get them quality championship. We need 2 outstanding coordinators. We need outstanding position coaches. And now what about the guy that was a strength and conditioning coach? Is he going to Colorado with Coach Prime, or is he staying?
Man,
hasn't been confirmed yet if Coach Sims is going, but I'm hearing that he is going to go and become an assistant athletic trainer.
Okay,
I mean,
so
athletic.
he's going.
I'm
Yeah,
hearing
I
it.
think
I'm
that
hearing
was
some. I'm hearing a little bit of it. Go ahead, Doc.
Well, let me say this. That's a big role right there, because I'm going to tell you something. I kept telling people, the improvement that you saw with Shadua in his running, that came from Coach Sims' off-season program. Okay? The what you saw with that linebacker, Aubrey Miller, a lot of that came from Coach Sims' program. Because he got so quick. I mean, you could see the quickness, you could see the agility, everything just improved. So that's another thing that Coach TC Taylor, if Sims is going to Colorado, he's got to go get a strength and conditioning coach, because Sims did a great job. Now, Sims was only there, 1 year?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Listen, he made himself very important. He made himself very important. But like I said, the only thing is this: with all of them people coming back to Jackson, if he goes out and get this quality staff, a championship staff, I believe that they can continue to dominate the Southwestern Athletic Conference, because everybody's saying on all the show, it's FAMU's time, it's FAMU's time. But I believe with the number now, and by the, so far, Doc, who have you heard? Now I'll tell you the people I heard. Who did you hear was going to Colorado?
I mean, the names, of course, Shador, Travis.
Right. Right.
He didn't say. I don't know if he heard. I don't know if he said Shiloh.
Shiloh is confirmed he's going.
Shiloh is confirmed he's going.
Yeah, he's going.
I heard Malachi Wideman. Did you hear that?
If Malachi goes, I mean, I don't think that would be the right choice for him to go.
I don't even.
Yeah, but I'm hearing Malachi Wideman. I thought I heard John Huggins. Is he going?
John Huggins is a senior.
He's a senior now.
Yeah, I think he's a senior. He came in because he transferred in from Florida too.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And
I think
what about anybody off that offensive line? Did you hear anybody off the offensive line?
Nobody from the offensive line.
Nobody from the O line. So I think most of these are like skill position players that's going to be going with Coach Prime. But when you hear that, and then you hear, the other three players going into the portal, it really is not a flood of players that's leaving out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of good players still left.
Yeah, so
less than 10 players.
Huh?
Yeah, they just 10 players.
Yeah.
It's less than 10 right now. Right now, it's just 6 guys is leaving.
Oh, just 6?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, listen, guys, like I said, I believe if he gets a quality. Now, what you think about the Jeff Weeks being the defense coordinator? What do y'all think about that?
I think he, in a sense, I will give it. I will see if he could try it, but he's still more of a position coach as far as being a play caller. Because with him being a position with the defensive line, like he motivates that whole defense line, and you don't see defensive linemen in the FCS on the FCS ranks learning how to rip, spin, bull rush, having some sort of hand technique combo. You don't hear too much
creating
about
leverage inside the place, creating leverage inside the gas.
Yeah.
But you think he would be inexperienced as a DC?
I honestly,
I wouldn't say
Doc, go ahead, Doc. I'll tell mine after you.
I won't say inexperienced. I just say I don't think he wants that whole spotlight on him like that.
Okay. Because that whole defensive staff has to be rebuilt, right?
Yeah, and that's the reason why I say, that's the reason why I'm kind of in favor of him, becoming the D-court. You're talking about a guy who's come up under the Rex Ryan tree,
right?
The defensive coaching tree of Rex Ryan. He's had the nobody has spent more time with DT as a coach the last 2 years than he has.
Right.
Yeah, Jeff
You
Weeks,
know, yeah, than Jeff Weeks, and he understands, the philosophy of a coach Dennis Thurman and
Right.
how to coach defense to be aggressive and how to make plays. And when you make a head coaching decision like a TC Taylor, that's to settle the waters.
Right.
Where the very next thing you got to go figure out is all three of your coordinator positions. You got to go figure out your defensive coordinator, your offensive coordinator, which I think they'll be straight if Brett Bartoloni is going to stay.
No, he's not. He's gone.
He's gone. So
he's
if
gone.
Bartoloni's gone, then now you don't have to go make as big of a splash hire on the offensive side as much as you do in the two positions you talked about. Strength and conditioning coordinator, you got to go make a big time hire. You got to go get a guy who's got Power 5, probably top 5, top 10 program worth of experience. And then I think you almost have to put a guy like a Jeff Weeks in the opportunity so he get a chance. Just so he get a chance to be able to help to also do what we talked about before, settle the water. This is a guy who's got NFL coaching experience. So he's I think he's a good coach. But I also understand Doc's perspective on this. Like, do you want to give a guy the reins like this that never has had play calling experience? You're in a tight spot right now, window wise. You can't afford to fall off. You can fall back a little bit, but you can't fall off.
No, because they expected now. If let me tell you something, if they win 9 next year, Jackson State people are going to be complaining because I know him. He's got. It's got to be 9 to 10.
Yeah, because
if it's 9, they complaining.
Oh man.
I'm gonna tell you like this, Josh. When I was in school, bro, 10 wins, 11 wins was our normal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was normal for us. 9 wins, you know what I'm saying? People be like, yeah, that was good, but shit, we could have did better.
Yeah.
8 or 7 wins. Oh man, we grabbing the pitchforks and trying to run you out of town.
Right.
So, but my thing is, we Jackson State fans, we done got so spoiled with what we had, you know what I'm saying, for like the last 3 years, 3 years. Okay. We done got spoiled with the blowouts. We done got spoiled with the high, you know what I'm saying, the high area wires, aerial assault, the ground. Then now this year with the ground and pound game, and we done got so spoiled with it. It's like now with TC coming, like, okay, what are we gonna do? What type of offensive philosophy is he gonna bring up in there? But the first thing, like you said, he has to do is solidify his coaching staff. Now, like I said, Coach Weeks is still there. Alan Ricard, he didn't go to Colorado. And Coach O, of course, because Coach O is Jackson State through and through too.
Right.
And so, even though after you see the video after the SWAC championship game where he had the emergency meeting with the players, he already hinted like, look, I want TC to be the head coach. Like, he should be the head coach. I'm like, to me, for TC, you don't go under tutelage of certain coaches and not get your fair share, you know what I'm saying, get your fair share of crack at the, you know what I'm saying, being on the big time.
Right.
So
let me ask you, what about the offensive line coach? Does he stay?
Marcusson?
Yeah.
I would say yeah, just because of the simple fact that you need, you know what I'm saying, you need some sort of stability, because those offensive linemen know how he is, and I think they got better this year than what you seen last year.
They did. Yeah, that offensive line was upgraded tremendously.
And I don't think a lot of. I'm gonna say it like this: most of those offensive linemen, they came in through the portal and they
Right.
came, transfer and all this stuff like that. I think they'll stay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what about Coach Flea?
He's gone.
He's gone. Okay, so
Flea
he's in Colorado.
Flea gone to Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Flea gone to Colorado. So Bartolone they say he's a wide receiver coach.
Yeah, he's gonna be the wide receiver coach.
Analyst.
Yeah.
So Flea is gone.
Defensive
Bartolone
coordinator.
is gone. Dennis is gone.
So he took
that
5 up there. What did he take from Jackson?
Yeah. So he got. So I'm gonna tell you the people he got that's in Colorado. That's gonna be in Colorado. He got Andre Hart.
Okay.
Kevin Matthews,
linebacker,
because they was boy that been for 20 years. Bartolone, Flea,
right?
Dennis Stern,
right?
Tim Brewster,
and what's the
Tim Brewster?
And if it's like Mo Sims, Coach Sims,
right?
It from conditioning.
So that's 6 positions
already off
7. That's 7.
That's 7. Okay. So he's got
yeah. Then he
got, like you say, he got to hit the road running.
He brought a brand new offensive coordinator from Kent State, who the year before, I think they ranked number 4 in the nation in FBS. Right. This season, even though they had a down, the 44th rank. So I mean, it's a slight downgrade, but still, you in the top. You still in the top 50 for your offense.
Right.
He brought in. He brought in the guy from Alabama to be his defensive coordinator. So
he
Dennis Thurman is not going to be
Atlanta.
the defensive coordinator. Dennis Thurman is going to be the defensive analyst.
Right. You're talking about Charles Kelly. Kelly used to be here in Atlanta at Georgia Tech. I know him.
He used to be at Florida State too.
At Florida State, he's good. Charles is good. I know him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to you. I think you froze, though.
So he got him. He's getting his staff together.
Right.
And so he's getting his staff together. So it's not like he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He ain't doing his job. Now,
right.
Now the only thing I don't like is being, if you like that kid when you don't want to play no more, you take your ball home with you. That's what I don't like right there. Like you can't get the ball. I'm taking it home with me. So he took almost everybody with him. Like,
well, Doc, what about the schedule for next year? Are they gonna open up with Florida A&M and Miami again?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
they are. Okay.
Yeah, that is the part of the schedule. So, Miami going to Florida. Miami play FAM in the OBC again. Second game of the season, I think we're going to be in San Marcos to play Texas State.
Right.
And then the third game of the year.
Actually, no, Doc. Week 0.
The third game of the year. I forgot what the third.
Week 0, y'all play South
Carolina. Yeah, we play South Carolina.
So in Atlanta. Yeah. There's MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Yeah, we played. Yeah. Season. Mm-hmm. That's the first game of the season. Then we got FAMU and then Texas State. So the Texas State game basically took away from Memphis.
Well, let me ask this question. Have y'all seen this kid everybody's talking about, the JUCO kid that everybody's wanting? Somebody said that Jackson had put an offer in for him. Is it Mississippi? He's at a JUCO in Mississippi. I haven't seen him on film yet, but everybody's talking about it. What do y'all know about him?
I've seen.
You talking about
the
Philip
highlights,
Short?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's that name. Yeah.
Talking about Philip Short? Yeah.
What kind of size we talking about?
He got some. he got some. He got
Is
an
he 6'3",
arm.
6'4",
He can command
6'5"?
an offense. Like 6'3", looking at 6'3",
6'3".
215.
And what's his hometown?
Mm-hmm.
Is he from Mississippi?
If I'm not mistaken, he's from Mississippi.
Okay, is he from Jackson or is he from?
Some people saying I'm cutting in and out right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From around Jackson, AP told me he go to Hines right now.
So the kid is at Hines?
That's right down the highway. That's right down the street.
Hines. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were saying he has a lot of arm
right down the
talent.
street.
They saying that he already knows how to throw people open. He's said his deep ball might be his best ball. I was listening to some people talk about him on Blues Show today. I'm going to look him up probably tomorrow. I'm not going to do it tonight, but they were very high on him. Now, that brings me back to another thing, Doc, to you and your guests. What about the quarterbacks that are there? What do we have? What's there at Jackson now?
Nothing's really left. JP Andrade is a graduating senior. He was the backup. Shador is going to Colorado. And
now Andrade, can he take the reins? Can he play next year?
Nah, he's done. He's
done.
Exhausted all his eligibility. Yes, sir.
Nah.
Okay, so what else is on the roster?
Man, who's the third string, Doc?
Was it the kid from North Texas State?
Grayson Thompson.
That's the kid from North Texas, right? What are we talking about? Can he start next year?
I don't know if you want him to start next year.
So what kind of arm we talking about?
He's a solid kid. He's a solid quarterback. I'm just not sure.
He got a decent.
If 9 games.
Yeah, he got a decent arm too.
He's got what now?
He's got a decent arm.
Okay. Has a decent arm. Okay. And what kind of size are we talking about?
It's probably 6'2".
Oh, he 6'3", 205.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
I thought 6'3".
He might be 6'3". You're right.
Right-handed, left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed. Okay.
Doc, you cutting in and out again, Doc.
It says Short is at Holmes Community College. Okay.
Yeah, he's at home.
My thing over. I got to hold on, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got an
Holmes. Yeah, Holmes County. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah, he has an Ole Miss offer right now, as well as
he has an Ole Miss offer.
Yeah, he's got it. He just picked up his Jackson State offer yesterday, though. So,
well, I'm gonna just say this now. You know, when it comes to quarterbacking, if Lane Kiffin makes you an offer, you legitimate.
Yeah. I would like to see this kid. He's 6'1". He's 6'1", about $195. Great arm. I mean, this kid can throw the ball. He can spin it.
Right.
You know, he can move a lot. Moves fairly well in the pocket. He's a great quarterback inside the pocket. Great mechanics.
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing this kid come over there and get inside of that TC Taylor offense and make some plays. One thing we know about TC Taylor is, especially if he's the guy and he don't have to have nobody looking over his shoulder, he can develop a quarterback. I mean, he developed Malcolm Bell.
I remember Malcolm.
Central. Man, he
Malcolm, good boy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Malcolm took him to the Celebration Bowl against Grambling.
Yeah, Malcolm took us. Yeah, he took us to the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, I remember. Malcolm was from Richmond. Where was he from?
Yes, he's from right outside of Richmond. He's from the suburb.
Yeah, Malcolm is the one that hooked him up with that Jalen Jones, I think.
Yes, he is. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
Sir. Yeah, Jalen did his quarterback training with Malcolm.
Now, would you think TC would be interested in bringing Malcolm to Jackson?
I would think so.
Yeah, Malcolm so.
And Malcolm is a high school offensive coordinator. He's won 3 state championships in a row, and has been invited to the NFL quarterback summit every year for the last 4 years. Top quarterback trainer and one of the top quarterback trainers in the country. and he knows TC Taylor's offense. I mean, he played it, So
Right.
I would love to see that. I mean, I'm actually, now that you said that, Coach, I'm actually going to advocate for that. I'm
Yeah.
going to advocate for that because Malcolm would be a great fit down there, and I think
Yeah, I think
because
he would
Malcolm
too.
knows that system, he would be great.
Yeah, I'm thinking TC probably already has him in the back of his mind.
I hope so.
Yeah,
That would be
because
great.
he really trained Malcolm. He trained Malcolm because Malcolm started from a freshman on, didn't he?
Yeah, Malcolm. No, not a freshman. So Malcolm was in the last class that I helped. Malcolm was in the last class that either I helped recruit or probably the class after. When Malcolm came in, he redshirted his true freshman year. But then after his redshirt freshman year, he played.
So Jerry Mack's first quarterback was the Reed kid you was talking about that went to ESPN, right?
So now by the time Matt got there, Jay Reed was done.
Okay.
Jay Reed's final year, we had an interim coach because of everything that happened with Dr. Henry Frazier. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Frazier. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jay Reed finished his last year with an interim head coach. And that was Malcolm's redshirt year.
Okay.
So when Matt came in, Malcolm Bell was Jerry Mack's quarterback.
So we saying that Malcolm Bell beat A&T, what, 2 times or 3 times?
3 times. Malcolm Bell went 3-1 against A&T.
Whoa. Yeah.
And I don't mean to call their school by their name. I'm sorry. The school down the highway. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't call them by that. My bad, Coach. I ain't mean to do that. I'm on here. I'm on Doc show. I'm on Doc show acting brand new.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, Coach, how's everything been going, man? How's the season, all season? How's everything been going?
I thought, that this was I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that next season is gonna be more epic than this season. Because now this is what I keep telling everybody. I think that we're in a golden era right now for HBCU football.
Yes, sir.
It for me, I'm an older person. It reminds me of the 70s.
Yes, sir.
That's these last 2 years that kind of reminded me of the 70s. Everybody's, I'm gotten to the point now, to be honest with you, I don't even watch a lot of FBS football. All I do is keep up with the swag.
Yeah. I don't watch FBS football at all no more.
Yeah.
There's so much going on with HBCU football.
Right.
I don't even need to watch it.
Yeah. And see, that's how it was in the 70s.
Yes, sir.
We would watch the bowl games and we would watch the big matchups because, see, in the 70s, that was the era of Doug Williams, and that was the era of Florida A&M with what's that guy's name? Albert Chester. Tennessee State had a guy named Joe 747 Adams. He was out of Mississippi, came to Tennessee State. But it was so many things happening in HBCU football during that time. Everybody's attention was on HBCU football. I'm finding it like it is. I'm finding women who basically don't give a damn about football. They keeping up with the swag.
Yes, sir.
They keep it up. I've had several women say, we waiting to see what Prime them gonna do, and I'm like, what? I'm talking about somebody 80 years old. It's like, so we popular. If you got the women's attention, you popular.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My mom has been more interested in this season than she's been in probably the last 25 years, man.
Yeah. So I think next year's going to be an even bigger year. I think we'll have more parity in the because and like you said about calling them, I'm gonna tell you that sleeping giant to me, and I keep now 2 sleeping giants, actually 3. If they ever get an offense coordinator at Alabama State down there with Eddie Robson, the whole SWAC better watch Alabama State. And the other one that I keep to, Doc and I have talked about this over and over. See, to me, one of the schools that should be top 3 in the SWAC is Prairie View. With the money they got, you 30 or 40 miles outside of Houston. You're talking about 4 million black folks in Texas. There's no way that Prairie View shouldn't be a big dog in the SWAC.
Yes,
I mean, it's natural.
Yep. I don't understand it. That's been one of my biggest question marks of the SWAC West since I started really paying attention to the SWAC. I'm looking at Prairie View and I'm like, why are they not dominating the SWAC?
Bro,
Thank you,
man. It's like I said, I mean, they should be able to dominate the slate, but the whole thing is you got, like I said, you got schools, FCS and FBS schools within probably like maybe like 100-mile radius from you.
Okay.
So it's hard. I mean, for them, it's hard. They feel like it's hard to compete. Plus, they have a high academic, you know what I'm saying, admissions.
Yes, one top school.
We in the same box though, Doc. I mean,
Yeah.
we 10 minutes away from Carolina, 10 minutes away from Duke, 15 minutes away from NC State.
Right.
You know, we in the belly of the beast here in Durham, man, and we in the same box. And it's hard as heck to get into North Carolina Central because we have such a big time law school. Our law school is what carries our school's admissions process. So it's so hard to get into Central. Yeah. So
with Prairie View, it's hard because of the fact they have they have one of the top engineering programs in the state of Texas and in the nation.
But you know what? With the city of Houston turning out over 500 Division I prospects every year, you mean to tell me Prairie View can't get 15 of them?
I'll tell you where they can
get 15 of them.
They can go to if they go to Houston, I'll go to the east side of Houston, Galena Park, North Shore, same school where Zach Evans and Demetrius Davis went to school at.
Right.
I will go to hell. If you don't want to make that trip, I still make that trip. I'll go down to Katy. Katy is a powerhouse in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Katy have like 9 state titles in the highest classification, bro.
But Doc, let me ask this question: you don't think Prairie View could pull kids from the West Coast?
They probably can. They probably can pull kids from the West Coast, but I know it's a hard sell. Some kids don't. I mean, if you go kids from the West Coast, most of the kids are gonna be Grambling.
Okay.
And see, long as Coach Hugh Jackson got that is at Grambling, he gonna pull kids from the West Coast.
Yeah, he gonna kill California.
Yeah, he gonna pull them from Cali. So like with us here in Texas, the 3 main spots you want to hit in Texas is I call it the Golden Triangle. Is Houston, Dallas Fort Worth,
right,
and all of East Texas.
Okay, East Texas.
Yeah, you have. I'm talking when I say East Texas, Mr. Ford. I'm talking about Longview, Marshall, Gilmer, Lufkin. I'm talking about John Tyler, where Earl Campbell went to school at. Greg Ward,
that's right.
I'm talking about Texarkana High. I'm talking about Texarkana Pleasant Grove, Liberty Ilo, Atlanta, Carthage, Center. I'm talking about all these schools these places that I'm naming.
Right.
You gotta want to hit those places because they got rich football talent, especially in East Texas. If you come to DFW, you going straight, like you literally going straight to the hood. You're going first place you're gonna stop at Lancaster.
Right.
You're gonna stop at DeSoto. We're gonna go to Cedar Hill. You're gonna go to Duncanville, and then you're gonna make your way up into Oak Cliff. Go to South Oak Cliff. You go to Kimball. You can go to Carter.
Where's Cypress at in this?
Cypress in Houston.
Okay.
Cypress in Houston.
Doc, let me ask you this question: Who's Bubba McDowell's best recruiters in the state of Texas?
He don't have one.
I don't even know who
is he dependent on Louisiana like Coach Dooley did?
That's his recruiting territory. Bubba McDowell has always loved Louisiana and the outskirts of Mississippi and the outside wedge of Mississippi if he can get it.
Yeah.
So he really doesn't have a connection in Texas.
Nope.
Not like that, but he
need to bring on Doc. He need to bring Doc on his staff.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna tell you who he needs to talk to. Bubba McDowell. He needs to talk to Reginald Sample, head coach over at Duncanville. And the reason why I say that, because we call him here in Dallas, we call him the godfather of DISD football.
Right.
Because we're talking about a guy that he graduated from South Oak Cliff. He coached over at Lincoln High School. He turned that team from the abysmal all the way up to almost to state finalists in a probably like in a 13-year span. Like each year, we talking about. I'm gonna tell you, the same guy that's coaching South Oak Cliff right now.
Right.
He played for Coach Sample. Then when he graduated, he coached on Coach Sample's his coaching staff
Right.
at Lincoln. So when he's at Lincoln, we talking about guys like Courtney Hearn that went on to Kansas State. I'm talking about a guy named Byron Eaton that didn't even play football in college. He played basketball because he was a point guard that played with Chris Bosh and those guys and won a national championship in basketball. But we talking about a guy in Byron Eaton at the time. He was 5'11", 225, playing quarterback and free safety.
What now, Doc? Let me ask you this question: what are the major holdbacks for Texas Southern? And the other thing I want to ask is, if how many more years you think they give McKinney? If McKinney doesn't win next year, will they give him another year? Or if he doesn't win next year, he's got to go. What do you think about that?
One and done.
I'm gonna say it like this. I talked to one of Coach McKinney's one of his classmates.
Right.
In fact, I talked to him on Saturday. He told me that what he saw this season from Texas Southern was kind of like a step up because, in a sense, they had no business to contend in the West.
Right.
Like it was Prairie View, it was Southern, and then because Coach Jackson got there, it was Grambling.
Right.
Nobody had Texas Southern in the running for the West until probably maybe 4-5 games into the season.
Right.
Then, but he was like, also if because he told me because they both went to Yates, which is like literally around the corner from TSU.
Okay.
And he was like, he said he a good dude, but if he have a bad season again, then he's out of there.
Okay.
Like
so
he told me, like he had to because to me, like we giving you the keys, they gave you a blueprint on how to, get people to come to Texas Southern. All you gotta do is just don't crash it.
So Doc, so next year's a contract year for him.
I feel like next year is a contract year for him.
Next
and
year's
especially
contract.
if his offensive coordinator is that pedestrian again, then I'm thinking he gone and the offensive coordinator gone.
Well, my next question is this: what about playing on campus? I don't like the fact that they go to that Dynamo Stadium. I don't like that. I thought that Jackson State should have been taking the NRG, and I would really like for them to play on that campus. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on playing on campus is that it should happen, but I think they need the more seating up in there. But also too, because you're talking about Texas Southern that really don't even average over like 2,000 fans a game. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the hottest thing in town. Let Texas Southern next season be 5-1, 6-1, and they contending in the West. People gonna wake up and see this, be like, "Hey, we got to go see these. We got to go see these boys play." Because if you could go in line to go watch them play basketball,
right,
you can go in line to watch them play football.
The last time they had a championship program, wasn't it Johnny Cole? Who was the leader? Was it Johnny Cole at that program?
Johnny Cole, ran the program. He had.
I know he was asked to leave.
He was the leader. Bobby Reed was his quarterback. Bobby Reed was the same quarterback that transferred from Oklahoma State. That was the one that Mike Gundy was talking about. He 40. If everybody remember that rant right there.
Right.
He was literally talking about him, but he was saying he was trying to stick up for him.
Right,
And
because
Bobby Reed,
that's the other thing I want to know about. Why is it that Texas Southern is not taking advantage of that transfer portal? I know they sign a lot of high school kids, and I'm down with that. But I feel like this class here should be transfer portal guys.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because my whole thing is if for you to contend in the West, like you gotta have guys that's experienced that want to get it, that want to win.
Right,
So you have to look into that portal. Like I said, if I'm looking on the portal. I'm like, okay, who from U of H don't ain't getting the playing time, but they know they a dog.
right,
I'll bring them on.
yeah,
Who down the street over at Rice? They got the book smarts, but they not giving that opportunity. I'll go after them, or even I go up north. I go to SMU. Somebody from SMU ain't playing right,
right,
ain't doing something. Or TCU, like you have. So in Houston, you got, like I said, U of H was right across the street from Texas Southern.
right,
Rice is a couple of blocks from Texas Southern. You got Prairie View, of course, like I said, that's 45 minutes. Up north, you got Sam Houston, who's making a jump to FBS from
right,
FCS. Keep going east, you got Lamar over in Beaumont. You got you even like you go 4 hours down south on the coast to Corpus Christi, you got or Kingsville, you got you got Texas A&M Kingsville. They play good football. That's a D2 school right there.
yeah.
Then
I've heard about it.
you go further north, you got
Right,
Stephen F. Austin. You got Stephen F. Austin. You got Commerce, Texas A&M Commerce in East Texas. Then you go into Dallas. You got SMU. You got UNT. You got go to Fort Worth, TCU, Texas Wesleyan. Keep going out west, Abilene Christian.
yeah.
You got schools from miles and miles. Midwestern State in Wichita Falls, Wayland Baptist up there in Plainview, Texas. You got schools for miles.
Now, Doc, let me ask you this. This is something that's been on my mind lately. What's your thoughts on combining the MEAC and the SWAC? What would that look? Is that a good idea? Is that a dumb idea? What's your thoughts on that?
You take that, Josh.
So
What do y'all think about that? Bringing the MEAC and the SWAC together, and what's your thoughts on it? Is it a dumb idea? Is it a good idea? We'll never see it happen in our lifetime. What's your thoughts?
I think it depends on the lens that we're talking on it from, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I always like to try to help, one of the things I always talk about, right, is that both of these conferences are Division I conferences, and they're Division 1A because there is no other kind of subdivision level in any other sport other than football.
Yeah.
So if we are making that move and it's for football specifically, I'm 100% with it. We just saw the WAC and the ASUN do some of the schools that are in the WAC and the ASUN do so.
Yeah.
I think that we would have to be honest and realistic about the fact that it's going to be a conference with a brand new name. Mm-hmm. It's going to take individual schools, both from the SWAC and the MEAC, and probably some of the HBCUs who are in non-HBCU conferences, to come together and say, yeah, let's do this for the sake of us being able to go and get the FBS. Here's the reason why. The SWAC is on the verge of getting ready to be the 5th highest paid media rights conference in the country.
Okay.
If we as MEAC, and the MEAC is getting ready to continue to be the lowest paid Division I conference in all of Division I sports.
Yeah.
If I'm North Carolina Central, which I'm a North Carolina Central graduate,
right?
I want some of that money. I can't afford to continue to keep playing around these Rudy Poo games with You know what I mean? HBCU Go will choose to change the media rights deal if we create something new. We still can put a Commissioner McClellan in the position of leadership in a new conference setup and situation. And let the SWAC and the MEAC continue to be what they are in basketball and baseball and softball and all the other sports that we play Division I athletics on. But as it pertains to football, football is a different beast. And we've got to take a different strategy. So to that point, Mr. Ford, if we talking football, I'm absolutely with it. But what it'll take about 10 to 12. What I've seen is there's about 10 to 12 schools that are ready to make that move.
Well, let me piggyback off of that. But let me ask both of you this.
Jay Blue, great question too.
Okay. And Doc, you know how I feel about it. This whole thing of Hampton and North Carolina A&T going to the CAA, you know, I've railed against it. I've said that it's going to be a dismal failure. Y'all's thoughts on that? Do y'all think that they will be terrible? Do you think they'll be mediocre? Do you think they'll be champions in that CAA going up against a Villanova, a Delaware, a Rhode Island, those kinds of schools? What's y'all thoughts on that?
We had a whole diatribe about that last week on HBCU Nightly.
Yeah,
we had Mr. Ford. We had a whole diatribe. We got a guy. I wish he was on here. Named Dave.
Dave is an A&T grad.
He's an A&T graduate, and then we have a lot of people that's from North Carolina Central and Howard. So most of the people we talk to on Twitter is MEAC people,
right?
And with a few of us SWAC folks in there, like me and Dr. Cavill, and but we talked about this for probably at least about 30 minutes, man.
Yeah, we did.
And we was like, they was like Hampton wanted to move up because what was that, the R1 status?
No, Hampton wanted to move their old
the old president.
Dr. Harvey for 30 years had this sweeping dream that he could be able to take Hampton away from the HBCU basically take Hampton away from the HBCU identifier and usher them into a new type of idea and thought. And so what that led to was this long kind of drawn out plan to take Hampton from, they used to be in the CIAA and then they moved to the MEAC, and then from the MEAC, the plan was always to go from the MEAC to a conference like the CAA. Well, unfortunately, when they first left the MEAC, CAA didn't have any desire to have a Hampton. Then you go to the Big South, and the Big South, from the moment they get there and A&T get there, the Big South is darn near on its last legs. And so then you see Hampton say, well, okay, well, now the CAA is interested. And so now we're doing our thing. So, I think that, realistically, if we're talking about from a performance standpoint, I'm never going to say that I want an HBCU to fall off. No, the school down the highway, everybody knows I have a tremendous amount of hate for that school.
Right.
They couldn't win the Big South.
That's right.
So it's going to be hard for me to believe that you can win the CAA. And so, I wish both programs nothing but the best. But I do want to, real quick, Doc, before we switch, because then I got to get off. We had that question about which schools. There it is. Jay Blue said which schools could be in this football only conference. Mm-hmm. I've written down Jackson State, Grambling, Southern, Prairie View, Texas Southern, FAMU, Alabama State, North Carolina Central, North Carolina A&T. And you take your pick whether you think, FAMU. Did I already say FAMU?
But did you leave out South Carolina State?
FAMU. Here's the reason why I'm leaving South Carolina State. I'm leaving it as a toss-up between whether South Carolina. Tennessee State will be in there as well. Alcorn. I'm leaving it as a toss-up between Alcorn and South Carolina State. It's going to depend on which of those two programs can put themselves in the financial position to be able to go first.
You said between South Carolina State and Alcorn?
And Alcorn, yes, sir.
I'd have to go with Alcorn.
I would too. As much as I hate South Carolina State and would love for them to be a part of this, I think South Carolina State definitely meets it. But if there's a situation where maybe the conference takes care of the cost that comes along with it, then absolutely, let's roll. But I'm just not sure that if they gotta carry their own cost, that they'll be able to do it. And that's just me speaking. I could be absolutely wrong about that. South Carolina State could be in a much better financial situation than I think they are.
Let me throw this out there, and I want y'all to chop this up a little bit.
Great stuff,
now.
Joe.
When you talk about Villanova spends $58 million on sports. Mm-hmm. Delaware spends $40 million on sports. A&T spends $16 million on sports, and Hampton spends $15 million on sport. How can you have that much of a deficit and then think you're going to win championships? Y'all talk to me about that.
Well, so ultimately, when it comes to the budgets, when it comes to those budgets, I always like to have those conversations in nuance, right? And those, when we're looking at those budgets, when you look at a Villanova, you look at a Delaware, and then you look at a Hampton and a North Carolina A&T. Ultimately, it boils down to a combination of different factors. The states that those universities are in, one.
Right.
Two, which athletic program do those programs have a tremendous amount of focus on? So if you look at Villanova, basketball is their coup de grace.
Right.
So what basketball has allowed for them to do is basketball has allowed for them to win national championships, conference championships, gain large major corporation partnerships, and gain big donors from around that Philadelphia area where Villanova is, right?
Right.
For Delaware, it's the flagship university of the state.
Right.
Outside of Delaware State, you got Delaware and then you got Delaware State. I know that there's other schools there, but I don't know nothing about them.
Right.
So I expect that they would have that type of budget. When you look at a North Carolina A&T and you look at a North Carolina Central, we got a $13 million athletic budget, $14 million athletic budget. A&T's situation is much more dire than it is. Their situation is much more dire than ours because they are a land grant university, and we're not. Okay. We're essentially a public school's version of a private school is what North Carolina Central is.
Right.
When you look at that, the only way you're going to be able to balance those books and make it even is through media money. Your alumni can't give back $50 million. Your budget, and if they are giving $50 million, they're not giving $50 million specifically just for athletics. They giving it to the endowment fund, the general fund of the university. So how do you make that up? You make that up by the media money. And so when you look at what the SWAC has, a 10-year, $130 million deal on their secondary level deal, then they're going to re-up on a primary deal in 2024 with whoever they decide to go with. That's going to be somewhere in the upwards of $150 million. Now you're talking about breaking down $290 million amongst all of the teams inside the conference. Now you're talking about divvying up $20 million. That's how you make up for that deficit. That $20 million media rights deal every year for 10 years, man, we can make it up with it in a heartbeat. And that is the reason why I've been advocating for North Carolina Central to consider it. I ain't saying basketball and every other sport, we still stay MEAC. But football, we got to find a way to get to that SWAC money because the MEAC just cannot advocate from a football perspective. It can't market and brand. It cannot do the job. And that's why A&T and Hampton ultimately decided to leave. It's because the MEAC can't do what the SWAC and other conferences can do, but specifically the SWAC can do. The SWAC is probably the 6th or 7th most valuable conference in all of athletics. And I will put them up, outside of your Power 5 conferences and maybe one or two, you may say the Sun Belt and maybe the American USA. Conference USA. I think it's more valuable than Conference USA.
It is.
On average, the fans come to more games in the SWAC than Conference USA.
Yeah. But and then, like you said, if you really think about it, though, having that secondary rights deal, and it's with an escalator on top of it too. Ooh. And then to get then to go back and renegotiate for the primary rights deal, bro. You like you said, yes, you talk about almost to an excess of almost $300 million going to each school. That's 12 schools. You breaking that down to, and now with that being with the 12 schools breaking it down, it's just a fact that matter of fact, who just to manage the money. You know what I'm saying? And put it in the right place.
Yeah, and that's on each university. My fault, Mr. Boyd. That's on each university to have great management skills. And I think that the collection of schools that we have that are getting maybe outside of maybe a Mississippi Valley, but I think they got the right athletic director now. And I think that AD will be able to manage that $20 million that's going to come into Mississippi Valley. Mississippi Valley ain't never seen a $20 million check that goes specifically to athletics.
That's
ever.
right.
You know what I mean? So they definitely could be able to use that boost in the arm. And that's more than a boost in the arm. That's a whole immune system shot. That's like giving somebody the Nike Air shots. You remember, Dog, when you used to get the shocks or the pumps on the Nikes, and you used to think you could fly and dunk. That's what that is.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
let me throw this at y'all. You know, ever since it's been announced that Coach Prime is now, that it's official that he's going to Colorado. The talk on these shows has been that Willie Simmons will become the dominant figure in black college football. And I wanted to ask both of you, is that foolishness or is there credibility to that? And your thoughts on him and that Rattler program? Because I got some problems with them, and it's not about what's happening with them on the field. It's that their administration.
Yeah.
I got some serious problems with their administration, from the AD job to the president job. But I want to ask y'all, do you agree or you disagree with this talk that since Coach Prime has now fled HBCU football, that the dominant person in black college football will be Willie Simmons and this Florida A&M program? What's y'all thoughts on that?
Now, I'm going to tell you this before. Until they beat Jackson State, they ain't beat Jackson State in the last 4 years.
Right.
We talk about 4 years. We talking about before the BS SWAC Challenge, when they were still in the MEAC, we beat them.
Right.
And then I think it was before that, we played them again. Before that, we beat them. And then
John Hendricks beat them down in Tallahassee, right?
Yeah, he did.
Beat them in Tallahassee. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking about, that's 4 years in a row.
Right.
Until you even sniff, you got to beat the dogs that beat you.
Right.
You got to beat the dog that beat you. And until you beat Jackson State, you won't be the, you know what I'm saying? You won't be the top dog in the SWAC.
So it's just talk.
It can be talk, but you gotta put it out there on the field.
Right.
You gotta go out there and play.
I look at it two ways too, Mr. Ford. I think if we talking about from a program standpoint, FAMU's program is never gonna be the top dog program until they beat Jackson State. But if we're talking about a head coaching figure who's gonna become essentially the biggest figure in HBCU sports, absolutely, Willie Simmons becomes the biggest individual figure in HBCU sports because of how much of a figure he became alongside Coach Prime. He allowed for his cachet grew. His cachet grew because he, just because he was willing to do those things. It had nothing to do with Prime. It had everything to do with Willie Simmons was willing to match Prime brand for brand. He was willing to do it. But as far as program goes, let's make no mistake about it. They can't even sniff becoming the best program until they take care of business against Jackson State. And so I think that there's a lot of opportunity for that program. I think it all starts. It's going to be a great opportunity for them. I think it all starts next season, week 1, when they got to go play in the Orange Blossom Classic. They get another opportunity to try to make that thing happen. But I think as far as for individual figures, Willie Simmons would most definitely become the biggest individual figure in HBCU football, for sure.
Yeah, but to me, you know how I feel, bro.
Yeah.
Until
you beat the team,
you cannot get beat down like you did this past season by 56 points.
Yeah,
right.
And still say that you run the SWAC. You don't run the SWAC when you get beat down like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you're playing for playing for second place. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got to hope, pray, and wish that somebody will actually beat us in conference. We haven't lost a conference game in 2 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We hope and pray somebody beat us in conference. And so you can be able to actually get on to we could go to the Celebration Bowl. But until then, no, you're gonna be second place to Jackson State until you beat them on the field.
That's true.
Let me throw this out right here. I want to exclude Jackson and Florida A&M for a minute. I'd like for both of you to give me 2 schools that you think can emerge in the SWAC next year as championship contenders that we don't. I want to do what they call a not too early prognostication right here.
Mhm.
Exclude Jackson, exclude FAM. Who are two programs in your estimation could rise up next year and be championship contenders? And tell me why.
Well,
Alabama State, and Alabama State. I ain't gonna lie to you, Mr. Ford. I ain't gonna lie to you. Alabama State is a quarterback away from being probably the most dominant program in the conference. I'm gonna be honest. I like to. If we're gonna do prognostications, right? Let's go there. That defense and what it's looking like they get ready to add through recruiting,
right?
Along with what they already got there. If they can figure out they're a quarterback away from being the most dominant program in the SWAC, in my opinion. Because now you got so many moving factors. You got so many shifting and moving factors. And you told me that if we leaving out Jackson State and FAMU, then the third best team, whether there's divisions or not, the third best team in the conference is Alabama State. And if they can fix the quarterback position, they can rival, compete, and possibly beat those top two teams. I think those three teams are in a tier of their own. And then if I got to name one more team that I think is maybe one class away, it's probably a tie between Texas Southern and Grambling for me. I think Texas Southern was so young this year. They got 50-some-odd juniors coming back next year.
Right.
They got the quarterback position figured out. They don't got no type of question mark at the quarterback position. And they got who I thought was the second, maybe the third best quarterback in the conference when Shador was there. Undoubtedly the second or possibly the best quarterback in the conference. You can, make your pick between him and Jeremy Musa.
Right.
Texas Southern got all of the elements that tell me that they can go and win. But Texas Southern gonna end up shooting themselves in the big toe. They're gonna shoot themselves in the big toe and not call the right plays and not put their team in the right positions and lose games that they have no business losing and find a way to put themselves in the spot where they have no business being. And so that for that reason, that's why I say maybe between them and maybe Grambling. Grambling look like they might be ready to, compete a little bit. Southern too, but they're a quarterback away as well.
I'm gonna say this. First of all, it's gonna be Alabama State, just because, like you said, me and Mr. Ford, we always talk about this. If they get a better coordinator as the offensive coordinator,
right,
and get somebody to actually fix the kinks out from Demetrius Davis as a quarterback,
right,
then you're going to see them being a championship level type team.
Okay.
Because look, we already have the defense.
Right.
The defense is solidified. We've already known that. You talking about Eddie Robinson Jr., Coach Robinson is a defensive coach. He played defense where he was in college and in the NFL. Right. That's all he knows. You know what I'm saying? But he could be that type of guy to where, like you said, the CEO of the team, all you gotta do is just get put in the hands of your coordinator. But like I said, that offensive coordinator is he needs to go. Yeah. Or he needs to go coach wide receivers.
Wide receivers, yeah.
On the West. And I'm gonna say it like this: it's two teams on the West. Actually, three. I'm gonna put it in three. I'm looking at Alcorn, looking at Prairie View, and looking at Texas Southern, and a slight push on Grambling. And the reason why I say that, let's start with Grambling. Mr. Ford, we talked about this last week.
Right.
Calvez, that is your signal caller.
Yes, he is.
Train him up to lead that team. You have a good kid in a quarterback like him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like he listens. he not the type of person that's gonna talk back. He gonna do whatever this coach is telling him to do. Now, you have remember we got a stable of running backs on that team.
Right.
Led by Washington. Problem is with Maurice Washington, he's too light in the butt. He got to bulk up to by at least 210, 215.
Right.
Because he's already 6'1". You bulk him up with some muscle, and he still can create that speed and that burst. Oh, it's over with. Plus, you got the other two running backs, Chance Williams, Floyd Chalk. You got those guys right there. They ready, they hungry, they they can go out there and get it. That defense with Cedric Thornton running the defense at Grambling is basically on another level because they can go and be better for next season. Texas Southern, we talk about this all the time. Offensive coordinator away. You got one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the conference with Andrew Body.
Right.
And my boy, my guy here, Craig Hall, he a Texas Southern advocate. And he'll tell you, Andrew Body is Texas Southern.
Right.
He is Texas Southern. There's nobody else. If you take him off the team, that ain't nothing. They're nothing. Now, my whole thing about Texas Southern is be more dynamic with the offensive play calling, and you got to show up that run defense. You cannot be giving up 200 yards every game of this.
Right. That's right.
You can't do that. Prairie View, they are one quarterback away. Now I give it up to Trayvon Conley and I give it up to Bubba McDowell and his offensive coordinator because of the fact that they played to his strengths. And his strengths is we gonna run. He's a runner. He's an athlete. We're gonna run the ball, and we're gonna have RPOs with and play action passing. You do all that. Plus, like we said, with Eddie Robinson Jr. being defense, Bubba McDowell is a defensive player. In fact, think about this: Bubba McDowell and Eddie Robinson Jr. played together when they was at Houston.
Right. Yeah.
So that's defense. That's defense on top of defense, right there.
Right.
He's going to take McDowell take care of the defense. I know he has a defensive coordinator, but he got so much stuff as far as knowledge when it comes to the defensive game, it's crazy. And the type of defense that they run, plugging in the gaps. It's almost, if you really think about it, Prairie View's defense is almost the same as almost Jackson State, except for they don't play bump and run.
Exactly.
They play zone.
Yeah.
But with the blitzes or the exotic blitzes that they got coming out, from their front seven, it's pretty much almost the same as Jackson State's defense.
That's true.
And then I say Alcorn. Alcorn is they need some receivers for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bowler kid was everything for them. CJ Bowler.
CJ Bowler was everything.
He was everything.
Juwan Anthony.
He's an experienced guy. Is he coming back?
And he should be coming back.
He was a good possession receiver.
You got the quarterback position is always going to be the quarterback position. You're going to get Aaron Allen back because he got one more year left.
Right.
And then you got Trey Lawrence, who actually stepped in the last couple of games when Allen went out with the injury.
Didn't look bad against Jackson.
He looked bad against Jackson. He's an athlete, but he does have a
yeah.
They said Juwan he graduated. Also Juwan Anthony. We lost Mr. Ford. I'm gonna let it. Barely. Also, Jarvion Howard is still gonna be there.
Ooh. Ooh.
So
Lord have mercy.
Jarvion Howard is still gonna be there. Nico Duffy is still gonna be there. Vontae Leatherwood is still gonna be there. You got all three of your running backs that's still gonna be there. Like you have like that
Sorry,
they could
guy.
contend. Alcorn can contend because it's not a fact that they can't contend because they could. Hell, they won the SWAC East 6 years in a row.
Great point.
Yeah, that's right. They did. That's right. Won the SWAC East 6 years. They went to 3 Celebration Bowls because A&T beat them 3 times.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. One of them times I thought they got cheated out. The second time they went to the Celebration Bowl, that boy caught that ball and they said he was juggling it. That was when Noah, remember the quarterback? He went to South Florida. Noah, what was his name? Noah something? Noah Johnson?
I think I remember him.
Yeah, they should have won that second A&T because they lost to A&T. See, A&T has, not A&T. Alcorn has been to the Celebration Bowl 3 times.
Yes, they have.
They've lost all 3, but the second one was the most controversial because Noah threw him that ball in the corner of the end zone and they said that he was juggling the ball, which to me, I saw it looked like he caught the ball. But anyway, I still say, guys, I don't know if y'all, I still think that they are missing an offensive coordinator at Alcorn. You know the guy I've talked to you about, Doc Elliott, that Rotten?
Elliott Rotten, yep.
I'm not impressed with his play calling. I'm definitely not impressed with him as an offensive line coach. They are missing that guy, Ryan Stachek. But there is another question I want to throw at y'all. You know, with the exception of Shedeur Sanders and this Jeremy Musa, you know, quarterback in the SWAC this year was awful. What do we have to do to get better quarterbacking in the SWAC?
Get some of these guys that's in this recruiting, this transfer portal, man.
I was thinking coaches. Don't we need better quarterback coaches?
I would say so. Yes, sir. I would say so. Which is the reason why me and you talked about, Mr. Ford, me and you talked about, you know, possibly bringing in a guy like a Malcolm Bell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, bringing in a guy like a Malcolm Bell who understands, you know, that just understands, man. Yeah. You know.
Yeah,
because quarterbacking in the SWAC this year, it took a hit now. I'm telling you, if you take out Shedeur Sanders and that Jeremy Musa, it was some bad quarterbacking in the SWAC this year.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Doc, I got to roll, Doc.
No, you good, man. Me and Mr. Ford, we'll take up. Thank you always. You come back tomorrow, man. I'm doing the players to watch for tomorrow's celebration.
You know it. I'm back in the building tomorrow. We can talk that Celebration Bowl.
Bet.
All right, bro.
Listen, you know what? It's not mentioned. Your basketball coach, your men's basketball coach, is one of the best in the country. Moulton, I think his name is Moulton.
Moulton.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the country.
Yeah. So we people have been talking about what I think people in my chat been talking about TC, what he gonna do, how we gonna be. Some people saying that we're gonna go back to the doldrums, but I don't think we are because I just think we got a coach. We got a coach that is, when it comes to play call, offensive play calling, he's dynamic offensive play calling. Now, what do we do when when it's crunch time? Do you leave it in the hands of the offensive coordinator, or do you, as the head coach, take over it and try to, manage and go for the win? I feel like
Doc, I hope he delegates that. I want him just to be the head coach. I would like for him to go out and get a proven offensive coordinator from either, say, the AAC, a Power 5 school, somebody that has credentials. But I just hope he doesn't do this Steve Spurrier stuff. I hope he's not going to be the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the play call. That's too much. That's too much. Because let me tell you something. Them people at Jackson State got high expectations. And
Yeah,
if he don't follow through, it's going to be a mess.
yeah,
I hope he delegates it. Go and get him a proven offensive coordinator outside of the SWAC.
yep. And a lot of people I've been looking at, on Twitter, been saying that, and I want to dispel the rumors about JSU administration misappropriation of
Oh, yeah.
funds
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So let's get this out the way, y'all. Um, the school didn't misappropriate any funds. Any money that you make from certain things, i.e., football games, basketball games. If you go to the championship game, SWAC championship game, to the Celebration Bowl, that money, unless it's like somebody said, it's earmarked for athletics or for football, it's going into the general fund for the school.
Right.
So, so let's get that out the way. There's no mismanagement of funds. People have been talking about where Prime donated half of his salary. He didn't donate half of his salary because he's still in it. You got to realize, because Prime is a state employee. He is an employee of the he was an employee of the state of Mississippi. So
Right.
there was no way he would donate half his salary. When y'all look at what when he was doing the touring the facilities, he turned to his business manager, which is Constance Schwartz Marini. She's over Smack Entertainment.
Right.
And he told her she needs to go get the money. Whatever they need to do to expedite everything they was trying to do with the football part of the athletic the Walter Payton Recreation Center.
Right.
So you gotta realize that wasn't that wasn't his money, as far as per se his money that he gets paid from the state. That was money that he was getting from corporate sponsors that boost and somebody who got corporate people sponsors. Hell, you could say Barstool could have gave him some money on that.
Right.
So that let's just get that out the way that if he did donate half of his salary to the school, then I mean that's kudos to him, but it's a tax write-off.
Right. Oh,
That's
yeah.
all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a tax write-off. It's nothing new that somebody, do. And then if Constance was getting the money for him so they could expedite everything in the recreation center to have everything finished by the time the season started, then guess what? That's a tax write-off too.
Yeah. The thing I like, Doc, is like your guest said, the naming of TC to me, it brings stability. It
Yeah,
brings normalcy back, because everybody's just been up in arms ever since they announced last Saturday night that Coach Deion Sanders was going to Colorado. It's like everybody's just been in that. They just been in up and on. When I came home today and I heard Blue talking about it, it calmed me
yeah,
because I know TC. I met him. Like I told you, I met him in Durham with Jerry Mack, and I'm just looking forward. Now, the main thing I want now is I don't want a homeboy staff. I don't want nepotism. I don't want inbreeding. I want outstanding individuals on his staff. Okay, not these
right.
people you play
Yes, sir.
football with. Yeah, I want an outstanding, and I want their resumes to say quality and championship.
That's correct. Now,
That's
so
what I
my
want.
boy Craig, he said, if one school have 10 to 20 coaches and the other SWAT schools have 5 to 10 coaches,
Doc, can you hear me? Doc, can you hear me? Because I think you're frozen on me. Can you hear me, Doc? Can you hear me, Doc?
Sorry, y'all, man.
Yeah. Can you hear me,
I
Doc?
got I had to man. I don't know, something rebooted on my phone on my end. So sorry about that,
Right.
y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
We back. Uh, but I remember trying to figure out what the question was. We were talking about the oh yeah, my guy said if you got 5 to 10 SWAC schools have 5 to 10 coaches and the other school have 10 to 20 coaches, in your opinion, who wins the football game? I feel like to me the one with the 5 to 10 coaches can win the football game. You don't really need 10 to 20 coaches.
Well, you know what? My former high school has about 16 to 20. Last time I went to a high school football game in my hometown, they had about at least 16 to 20 coaches for the varsity. They had that. You frozen, Doc? You frozen, Doc?
Yeah, I know. Hey, hello. Yeah,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, AP, I know I'm from Dallas. Yes, I know I got spectrum throat. This is terrible, man. It must be a storm outside or something because this don't never happen like that.
Hey.
Nah, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I understand where you're coming from because to me, I just feel like somebody. I mean, look, you need an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, somebody to coach the receivers, the coach the O line, the coach the D line, linebackers, DBs, and special teams. You don't need number 8, probably at 10, 8, 10.
Yeah. Right now, I think the key person is for Coach TC Taylor is going to be that Jeff Weeks. Like I said, basically, I think that he should be looked at as for the defense coordinator to keep the continuity going because them kids know Dennis Thurman's defense now, and I really would like for them to continue on because that's been because let me tell you something, this defense that Jackson State has this year, this defense is going to be talked about for years to come.
Oh yeah,
Aubrey
the
Miller, that
defense
crew, yeah,
is
it's going to be talked about for years to come.
the defense is. I wish it was we could have did it on a bigger stage as far like in the FCS playoffs.
Yeah.
But you know, we know what we got. We knew when we back in 1999 when we
Mm-hmm.
decided to give up our rights for the FCS playoffs as a
Oh
conference.
yeah.
Um, we knew what we was getting ourselves into.
Oh yeah, well I was happy. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm like that guy Sam Herder. I think the FCS playoffs is a waste of time for us. It's a waste of time.
Yeah,
it's a waste of time.
And then you gotta realize too, man. We've been had bowl games in the FC in HBCUs for the last 30 years.
Yeah, but I mean, you go back to the Orange Blossom Classic. You go to the Pelican. I think one time they had something called the Pelican Bowl. They had a Pioneer Bowl.
Yep.
They had a Heritage Bowl.
Yep.
We've always had that, and a lot of them, the PWIs envied our championship games. They've envied them.
Yep.
A lot of those schools would love to have a Celebration Bowl, but we're the ones that have it.
Yeah, I mean that's a good. I mean that's what I'm saying. Like we've been had this type of format for the longest, and I don't see why the FCS, like the rest of the FCS, won't go along with it. Because you never know, man.
Historically, I think Prairie View had the first bowl game among HBCU. I think it was Prairie View.
Yeah, it was the Prairie View Bowl. It was from 1920. It was from 19 something, 20 something to it was 1929 to 1961.
I think so. Yeah, that's right. Because they were dominant under Billy Nix. I tell people all the time, you have to go back and study Billy. Because one thing Coach Robinson told us when I was at Graham, he couldn't do nothing with Billy Nix. He couldn't do nothing with. There's two people he couldn't do nothing with. Well, actually three. He couldn't do nothing with Billy Nix, couldn't do nothing with Arnett Mumford, and he definitely couldn't do nothing with Jay Gaither. Yeah,
you talking about that's Mount Rushmore HBCU.
Yeah, that's right, baby. That's right. Doc, let me get on in this bed, man. When you coming on again?
I'll be on tomorrow. We're doing players to watch for Celebration Bowl tomorrow.
What time? What time? My time?
8:30. I mean 9:30 your time.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, y'all have a good night.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ford.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. So everybody, So man, I'm gonna say it just like this, and I'm gonna get off myself. Hopefully tomorrow is gonna be announced that TC Taylor will be the head coach, the 22nd head coach of Jackson State University. This is a momentous occasion for the school because we talking about a guy that is Jackson State through and through. He bleeds blue and white. I don't see anybody else not taking his job right here. I kind of agree with how Ashley Robinson played this decision as far as basically kind of in a sense stop the bleeding, but have some sort of continuity. You got a person that that can recruit. And when I say recruit, we talking about Mississippi, but we also talking about Louisiana, we talking about Tennessee, we talking about Texas, we talking about Georgia, and all those players that Coach Prime has brought in. I mean, has been committed. He has talked to those players and from decommitting from Jackson State and making sure that when signing, when early signing period comes around, that these kids are going to be able to come on, sign their letters of intent, come on campus, and be ready for the fall. So basically, I just feel like, man, in a sense, it's a good. I mean, like this is a great hire. I mean, would I do? I wish I had. Do we wish we would have had like an Ed Reed or like a Ray Lewis or somebody like even a Kevin Sumlin as the head coach of the school? Yeah, probably so. But you know what I'm saying. But we're gonna go the safe route. And I feel like the way that the team for next season is gonna be is how TC first recruits and then what he brings in as far as the coaching staff. Um, is he gonna keep? Is he gonna talk to Coach Weeks? He gonna talk to Coach Ricard? He gonna talk to Coach Markinson to make trying to maintain some sort of continuity on the team. After it's big, after the coach staff got, basically pilfered by Coach Prime because he wants to win. He wants to win at all time. Yeah, I mean, and on real talk, I feel you on this, AP. Like I wouldn't want him to get passed up either. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been doing this thing for so long, and I just feel like he's ready. You know what I'm saying? He's ready to take to take the school to the next level. All you gotta do, and all we have to do is just continue the success that we had for the last 2 years. Just continue it and just run rush shot over, everybody in the sweat. Now, in other coaching news, in other coaching search news, I've heard from sources that the coaching search for UAPB is coming to a conclusion. The finalists, they have 3 finalists for the job. One is, let me see, I read it. It's on my phone, but I read it while I was on the bus on my way home, y'all. There you go, football scoop. Yeah. So, so the 3 finalists, for the UAPB job is Florida A&M offensive coordinator Joseph Henry, Benedict College head coach Chennis Berry, and former Presbyterian and Pulaski Academy head coach Kevin Kelly. Now, I'm gonna get back to the UAPB thing. So my boy D-Lo, that's my guy right there. Known him for 25 years, man. Who's gonna be the QB? I don't know who's gonna be the QB for next season. It's gonna be an open competition now since Shedeur ain't there no more. It's not gonna be an open competition. I mean, it's an open competition because you remember for 2 years Jackson State had Shedeur Sanders. Nobody competed against him in the for 2 years straight. Now you got somebody. Now you got somebody that's gonna open up the quarterback competition and to see who be the best person to take over the job, and basically, you know what I'm saying, continue what Shedeur done in the 2 years he was the starting quarterback. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been selfish. I wanted Shedeur to stay because my thing is if he would have stayed, he probably would have broken. He probably would have broken Robert Kent's the passing record set by Robert Kent. He probably could have progressed and got a little bit better, and probably could have broken the single season record by Casey Terrio. But we all know that he's gone with his dad, and he's going to be the play caller at Colorado. It's already been announced. He's going to be the play caller at Colorado for next season. Coach Flea is gone. Coach Marcuson is still there. Coach Weeks is there. Coach Ricard is there. I think Coach Shad, who was the assistant wide receivers coach, I think he's still there. There's some other. I think Coach Mo Sims more likely will be heading to Colorado, but I mean, if TC can get to him in time, I think he more likely he will be gone. Now let's get back to the coaching search for UAPB. Joseph Henry. Joseph Henry basically been down with Willie Simmons from the time he was at Prairie View. Then Willie got the job at FAMU, so he's been down with Willie. Had decent, decent offensive lines, and then he was an offensive coordinator for Willie. Basically, what you see when you had Rashawn McKay, when you had Jeremy Musa, it ain't the best offensive play calling, but it's decent enough. I hey Jay Blue, I think we'll land Philip Short. I think we'll land him, like, for real. I have a good feel. I have a great feeling that we'll land him. How do I feel about Neely? I don't know how to feel about Neely. I mean, look, the pregame show was the show that you watch on YouTube where you get all the players' interviews, you get the interviews from the coaches, and you get your little excerpts. They also had their own show which ran, that probably 30, 45 minute show. I don't know. I mean, shoot, it is what it is, but I mean, in the end, you still gotta feed your family. In the end, you still got to feed your family on top of that. So, but but other than that, man, let's see with the UAPB search, Chinnisberry, like, look, Chinnisberry been at Benedict since 2020. No, since this past season, last year. So he also was the offensive coordinator at Southern when Dawson Odoms was the head coach, and then when they had Jason Rollins as the interim coach. Basically, he's a ground and pound type guy. And if you looked at Benedict was 1-9 in 2020. They went 5-5 in 2021, and then last year they went and won the SIAC undefeated and beat everybody to death. And they had got a first round bye in the Division II playoffs. You were talking about that he took them from 5-5, 1-9 to 11-1 within 2 years. And then last but not least, Kevin Kelly. We talking about Kevin Kelly. He was the head coach of Pulaski Academy over in Little Rock, and he took a stint at a college coaching job with Presbyterian College. About the punts, let's just get that out the way. He never punted. He was more on analytics. He's more on analytics than anything else. But you never know. It might be a job for him, but I don't think he would actually get the job. I'm more going with Chinnisberry as far as taking the job with Pine Bluff. So, P's Tom, and let me see. What do you think the Valley head coach hire was a good hire? I mean, right now it was a good hire because you got to have some sort of continuity in your program, and for them to hire to make the associate head coach the interim coach is, I mean, it's still a good hire. Those kids still trust them. Let's just say it's, instead of him getting the interim coach, let's just say he becomes the head coach. Guess what? The man is going to be the first Hispanic head coach in the SWAC. Y'all ain't listening to me. The man is going to be, if he's instead of being the interim, he becomes the head coach. He is going to be the first Hispanic head coach in the SWAC. That's a diversity for your ass right there. I'm just saying, that's some diversity for you. In fact, I'm about to pull up trying to pull up his the story because I seen it and it was on seen it on Twitter earlier today. All right. So Javier Gonzalez is the defensive coordinator for Valley. so like I said, if they take the interim off of him, he'd be the first Hispanic head coach in the SWAC's history. So they didn't hire, they just elevated him to the interim position, and hopefully he, if they go about finding a coach or if they'll just stay in-house, then he will be the actual head coach. Javier Gonzalez. You still have Bethune-Cookman. Haven't heard any word about Bethune-Cookman hiring a coach. I haven't heard any word about trying to figure out who else is trying to find a coach. But I haven't heard anything else about Bethune-Cookman. Haven't heard anything else about them. But hopefully they need to have somebody in place before either early signing period or National Signing Day. And if they don't have one by National Signing Day, then you're setting your program back another 3 years. In which you might have to just call it quits and not have an actual football program at all. I'm just saying. But again, y'all, man, look, I'm happy for the hire of TC Taylor when it happens, when it becomes official. But and mostly everybody expected that. Everybody wanted to still make that big splash. Everybody wanted to make, be like, well, we need somebody like Prime. We don't need we need, I mean, if we get somebody with that that charisma, yeah, but we talking about winning football games and just keeping that train rolling. Man, just hire the person that fits the bill. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. But tomorrow, make sure tomorrow y'all come in at same time, 8:30 tomorrow night. we'll be we'll be kicking out the Celebration Bowl. It was supposed to happen today, but like I said, I got the news when I seen that. I got the news about this. I had to switch it up, and basically, this is something that was a little bit more. I mean, even though the football game is real important, it's something more important because this is going to determine how we're going to be for the next couple of years. But tomorrow, 8:30, I'm doing players to watch. Again, I'm gonna have Josh Sims. He's a North Carolina Central alum. He will be on the show tomorrow night. Also, more like I have Mr. Ford on the show tomorrow night. So if you haven't done, make sure that you tell a friend, and your friend tell a friend, and they tell a friend, and tell them to come on to the show. Come watch the show. If they want to voice their opinions and concerns and anything like that, give a shout out, man. Look, tell them they could come on the stream and get it cracking. But for right now, that's what's gonna happen for tomorrow, Wednesday. I don't know if what I'm doing Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday afternoon, will be film breakdown. Thursday, is Celebration Bowl preview. Friday, man, we going back Friday. I love Friday, unless I go to the state championship game to go see South Oak Cliff play. That's a if. That's a big if right there. But Saturday, I watch the game from work, get home, we'll do post game show Saturday night at 9, even though I know the game comes on in the afternoon. Y'all gotta realize I work, and it's holiday season for retail. but just make sure Saturday post game show, either 8:30 or 9:00. Friday, I love Friday, unless I go to the game Friday night. Thursday is kind of like a preview. Wednesday is film breakdown. Tomorrow night 8:30 is players to watch for the Celebration Bowl. Now let me try to see if I can get this going again. Let's see if I can get this going again. All right. They doing all this stuff. Oh, and let everybody know about my sleep study, y'all, man. The sleep study went good. It went good. It went real well. So hopefully I hear back from my doctor. And see when I can go pick up the CPAP machine, because your boy needs it. I need it, man. Sometimes I be wanting to fall asleep throughout the night, and it don't really happen like that. But all right, let's get this going. Yes, it actually worked. So, as y'all see, man, look, this is subscriber sweepstakes. As you see, man, just read off what's going on. Choose 4 regular subs at random. I'm gonna choose 4 regular subs at random for a chance to win up to $50 if they're able to get 5 people to subscribe by December 31st, 2022. The drawing will take place live on air January 3rd, 2023. All entries must be emailed to as y'all see, holiday1925@gmail.com before December 31st, 2022. All entries will be checked and verified. You can enter more than once to increase your chances of winning the contest. As y'all see, like I said, this is my contest that I was saying that I wanted to do. And if you want to, like I said, just go ahead and try to get people to do it. And then I will, if I pick you at random, I will cash up you $50 on January the 3rd. All right. So if y'all reading it, take a picture, kind of save it. You know what I'm saying? Save the email address just in case you need to hit me up. With some ideas and some sponsorships because I want to get sponsored. We on the road to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. Yes, I said 1,000. We on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Cause why? This thing needs to be monetized. It needs to be monetized. So man, we on the road. Like I said, we on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight for this expected news coming out of Jackson, Mississippi. But again, man, like I said, thank y'all for rocking with me. It's a 2-hour show tonight. I don't know how long it's gonna be tomorrow, but remember, I'm your boy Doc Holiday. This is another HBCU OverDrive Live, where HBCUs matter. If you haven't done by now, make sure that you like the stream. Make sure you share it. Comment with your boy. Share it with your people. Share it with your mama, your dad, whoever. And most of all, subscribe. That's it. Most of all, subscribe. But in the meantime, between time, y'all already know. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay dangerous. Peace.